Hey, yes, I'm wearing the same hat I wore earlier today because who wants to see that? Yeah, I didn't think so. Let me see if I can do this again. There we go. I'm getting good at that, aren't I? Um, so earlier, I was talking to a woman and we were having a conversation about forgiveness. And someone had told her that she really needed to move on and get on with this forgiveness thing because she wasn't forgiving fast enough as far as they were concerned. Granted, this person was not a trauma-informed therapist or a, counselor or coach or anything. They were just a friend of hers. And while they probably meant well, because given the circumstances, I do think they meant well. Some people don't when they say things like that. But while they probably meant well, she had the fortitude to be able to tell them, you know what, I think I'll get there when I'm ready. And I think forgiveness may not look like reconciliation like you think it does. And I was super proud of her. And then she went on to tell me something, and I got choked up, you guys, because this is why I do what I do. So she told me that in her life, when she was living in her abuse, and she's been out for just less than a year, but in her life, there had been a young woman in her family who, and I've got hat fuzz in my mouth. There'd been a young woman in her family that she'd had a tense relationship with. And she loved her very much, but there had been a lot of pain in that relationship. And as my friend has healed and continued healing, not saying she's done healing, but as she's continued healing, she has realized that a lot of the pain that this younger woman experienced was actually the result of how my friend treated her. My friend has also realized that a lot of how she treated her was the direct result of coping mechanisms she had learned in order to survive the abuse she was living in. Now, at this point, it takes a lot of humility to recognize that you've caused someone pain. And it takes a lot of self-awareness to recognize that you may have caused them pain based on coping mechanisms that you learned in order to survive someone else's abuse. But a lot of people stop there. And they're like, yeah, well, I was living in abuse, and so I did some terrible stuff. But you know what? What do you expect of me? I was experiencing abuse. So yeah, of course, I was lashing out, or I was not able to be nice to other people, and they just stop there. But not my friend. My friend said, I'm getting ready to contact this particular young woman. She said, and I want to tell her that I am so sorry that I wasn't there and I wasn't able to give her what she needed. That because of what I was going through, I couldn't see her the way she needed to be seen. And that I realize that my inability caused her pain. And I know better now, and I want to do better now. Because of the dynamics of our situation, she said, I want to tell her that I was envious and selfish and jealous, and I made her feel unimportant, and I was wrong. And I'm sorry. And now I'm here, but I understand that it might take a long time for her to feel like I'm a safe person. And she's welcome to take as long as she needs. And I'll be here. I'll still be working on me and working on healing. And oh my goodness, you guys, I just got so choked up because I've had conversations with this friend where she's asked, was it my fault? Did I cause this? Am I the abuser? Am I showing narcissistic traits? Am I the one causing all of this difficulty? And I stopped her in her tracks and I said, a truly abusive person, someone who is committed to exploiting others, cannot do this. They cannot take responsibility for what they did while under the influence of someone else's abuse. They cannot say they were wrong and they are sorry, and they definitely cannot and will not give the person they hurt the freedom and as much time as they need to come around, because they operate on exploitation and control. They have to control the situation. You are not the abuser in your dynamic. Yes, you may have done things you regret because you developed coping mechanisms, but now you are taking responsibility for those things. You are apologizing. You are seeking to repair relationships and open up for rebuilding if the other person chooses that they want to. These are healing things. This is what forgiveness looks like. It doesn't force reconciliation in any direction. It gives the other person freedom. This is what the feelings, this is what it looks like. This is what healing looks like. Now, if you do this, and that precious young woman in your life takes that information and your vulnerability and your humility and your willingness to listen, and later she turns around and uses it against you, and I've seen that happen over and over again, where someone is healing and learning and they extend that, and then the other person takes it and weaponizes it and uses it against them and refuses to listen to it or participate, and that hurts like the dickens. But if they do that, it reveals their true character, not yours, because you have clean hands. You have done what is right to do. You have laid yourself bare. You have been vulnerable. You have offered to repair. You have been willing to rebuild. You have given them the freedom to move at their own pace. You have admitted what you were doing wrong, and you have done your part. That is what healing and post-traumatic growth looks like. That, girls, is who we strive to be. That's where we're headed. Just had to share that.